Hey guys, welcome to another devotional with me, Pastor Adam. Glad you're here with me. As snowy as it is outside, I'm glad you're in a warm place with good internet connection. So, before we get in today for our new series on worship, I'd like to talk to us a little bit about how you're doing, how this new semester is treating you, how you're handling the cold weather and school and COVID and all the thing that goes with it. Let me know. Want to hear from you. All right? Get your mouths open a little bit and having some fun. Let's play a little Would You Rather. This first question is, would you rather play cymbals in a band and be one of those flared, so have fun in the background, or be an interpretive dancer for this band? And I'm imagining this band is something like along a marching band, school band type of thing. So, cymbal player or interpretive dancer. Let me know. Question 2. Would you rather pay full price plus to go and spend a week at Disney World, but pay for everything full price, or take a week and divide it equally between Sea Worlds, Gatorland, Holy Lands, for a little bit less of the cost too? Disney World, everything else in Orlando. And finally, would you rather spend one night in a snow fort in winter or one night on the beach buried in sand? Let me know. Today, as I said, we're talking about worship. And help us, our memory verse is from Matthew chapter 15, verse 8, where it says, "These people draw near to me with their mouth and honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me." Matthew 15:8. "These people draw near to me with their mouth and honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me." Today we're going to learn about the word worship. I know a lot of you associate the word worship with music. That's not true though. Worship is something we do to celebrate God and show Him honor, respect, and love that He deserves. However, we can worship God for the wrong reasons. Today we're going to look at a pair of people who are going to teach us about what worship is and what it is not, and how we should worship God. And spoiler, it's not just music. To start with, we're going to be in Luke chapter 10, verse 38, where it says, "Now as they went on their way, Jesus entered a village, and a woman named Martha welcomed him into her house." So Jesus enters a village. We know that since he meets Martha, the village must be the town of Bethany. And they went there and they met a lady named Martha. One person. I said there was going to be a pair, so let's read verse 39. "And as she had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to his teaching." So now we got Martha, and she has a sister named Mary. "Hi, Mary. I'm Martha. Hi, Martha. I'm Mary." And they sat, Mary, while having Jesus at their house. This is their house. Just sat at Jesus' feet listening to him teach. Listened and teach. That's it. Responsible? Yeah. But she just sat and listened to Jesus teach. Listening to him talk. Listening to him teach. And that's exactly what I kind of want to do. But then again, should she have been doing other things? What's Martha doing? All Mary is doing is just sitting at Jesus' feet, listening to him teach about the principles of God. Imagine what is in our Bible that telling us about who God is and how much He loves us. Listening to God is very important, and we should do it today. We can do it by praying, because let's not forget, prayer is communication, as in talking to God, but it's also listening to God as well. Just as important for us to listen to God and have a great prayer life. Let's find out more about Mary and Martha. "Hi, I'm Martha. Hi, I'm Mary." And in verse 40 it says, "But Martha was distracted with much serving. She went up to him and said, 'Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me alone to serve? Tell her then to help me.'" Martha is upset. She has Jesus over. She wants to impress him. She invites him to her house. Maybe she assumed Mary would help. And Martha ended up doing all the work, preparing the meal, serving the figure, probably shopping for the meal, preparing the meal, cooking, serving the meal, worrying about the litter box, cleaning that, sweeping, dusting, putting away things so it doesn't look cluttered, instead of just sitting and listening to Jesus, which is what Mary was doing. Is one right and one wrong? How should we act? Is Jesus saying that doing our chores around the house is sinful? No. Jesus responds in 41 and 42, giving us an answer in this opportunity to worship God. "But the Lord answered her, saying, 'Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things, but one thing is necessary. Mary has chosen the good portion, which is not to be taken away from her.'" Jesus points out to her, saying, "Martha, Martha, 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 Martha." Jesus didn't come over to see a clean, perfect-looking house like no one's ever lived in it. To have a 4-course meal that each takes you through a culinary expertise of the region of farm to table. No. One thing is enough. I'm pretty sure if she would have just on the way home stopped off at get a bucket of chicken, Jesus would have said, "Great, sounds wonderful," instead of just being like perfect appetizer, perfect amuse-bouche, perfectly raised chicken with a deep-fried, succulent tartare. No, then all that's garbage. Jesus doesn't care about that. He wanted Martha to be like Mary and to sit and be present, to learn, to worship him, not to be frilling away with all these things that don't matter. Jesus didn't come to see a clean, dusted house to have a perfect meal. He came to be with them and having them have an opportunity to worship God. And Martha missed out on it. Mary is doing what's important, listening to God, showing him love, the respect that we need, that we do when we worship. The same principle that Mary's doing is what we need to do when we go to church. We show love, we show respect by do that by singing, by praying, by studying, by listening when the sermon and teaching is done, by being with the other Christians in the church. That is what we should be doing, not being like Martha and just going everywhere doing things that don't matter. Sorry. We can jump ahead a little bit and find one more lesson from Mary and Martha in John chapter 12, where Jesus goes back in verse 1 to see them just before the Passover, before his time at the cross. In verse 1 it says, 6 days before Passover, Jesus therefore came to Bethany, where Lazarus was, whom Jesus raised from the dead. See, now we get 2 stories for the price of 1, because we learned about the sisters, Mary and Martha, and we just heard them. But we also know that their brother is Lazarus. Lazarus, who had died and Jesus brought back from the dead. This is a really special family. And Jesus goes back to Bethany to see Martha, Mary, and Lazarus. And once again, nothing like a home-cooked meal, right? So in verse 2, so they gave a dinner for him there. Martha served. Lazarus was one of those reclining at the table. See, again, Martha falls back into her old habits because it doesn't say Mary and Martha served. No. It says Martha served. Does that mean she did the same type of things, ignoring Jesus, doing all the things that are necessary in such elaborate meal? Maybe, maybe not. Hopefully she learned from that and just did a simple meal. Here's a grilled cheese sandwich. Here's a bag of potato chips. Enjoy. But it says that Jesus and Lazarus were at the table listening. But here, there's Mary. We haven't talked about Mary. Let's find out about her in verse 3. Mary therefore took a pound of expensive ointment made from pure nard, and anointed the feet of Jesus and wiped his feet with her hair. The house was filled with the fragrance of perfume. So in comes Mary. She's not worrying about dinner or the status of the house. What is she doing? Finding a way to worship God. She took a pound of nard. Nard is what we make perfume from. Not just like scents. No. This is expensive stuff. This is pure, beautiful, lovely smelling perfume. Very expensive and probably cost quite a few dollars. And she took this perfume, this cologne, and opened it and dumped it onto Jesus's feet, and then wiped it. So she cleaned his feet with her hair, and then dumped this canyon stank all over Jesus's feet. And I'm assuming that's the cologne brand it was. You know, everybody loves canyon stank. I'm a stank man. But Mary teaches us once again how to worship God. Before, it was by sitting and listening, by being present with him and learning from him. Now she does the simple thing of showing the respect he has by anointing him with these expensive and worshipful things, by giving of what she has. And is showing the simple act of love and respect by cleaning his feet, by making sure they smell nice. This went culturally very well, but it's also applicable to us today. Mary and Martha show us there are many ways we can worship God. Mary teaches us that we need to have the right heart in doing this. Martha didn't. She worried about the other things in life and was, instead of just sitting and worshiping God. We don't worship God to show off what we get or to have to be noticed. I don't want people coming in on a Sunday and say, look at that. Pastor Adam must be worshiping. You can tell just by the way he acts. I don't know. I don't want to be seen. This is something between me and the Lord. It's not about how well you sing, how nicely you dress. It's not about where you sit. No. It's about a quiet time that you have between you and God. We worship God, though, to honor him and to tell him that he is greater and more wonderful than anything else on earth. More wonderful than our schedule, than our money, than our time, than our wants and desires. We come to worship God on Sundays and every day of our life. That is how you worship. See you next time.